All right, so today we're going full hands-on. Like I said, we'll start by um. So based on what I discussed on Ansible last on Tuesday, Ansible is like it has a control node where you deploy um you can deploy applications to multiple servers. So in our setup, what we're doing for this my setup, I'll be using three Vagrant servers. One will be the control node, and the two will be the target nodes that the control nodes will be deploying to. Um, so yeah, for those people that do not have Vagrant installed, if you have your normal WSL, you can use you can probably use DigitalOcean to you can use DigitalOcean to get a server. It's not going to be free though. Sign up on DigitalOcean and you can get like a 1 gig server that you can use. So your laptop will be like a control node. Your your local machine will be like a control node where you can, connect to those digital servers. Connect to the digital ocean servers and then run the deployment. So yeah, let's start. Let's start what we are come here to do. So to set up Vagrant, we have, like I said, we want to set up three servers. And in setting up three servers, for those of you that are using Vagrant, you you do three steps. So this is the Vagrant configure. This is like you're configuring the controller server. So this is the controller server. In our controller server, we have Ubuntu Focal. I'm using 20. I'm using Ubuntu 20 because it's a more stable version for me on my own computer. Then the host name will be controller. That's what we're going to name it, controller. Then we're now going to assign a private IP, which is 192.168.5.56.10. Based on what we discussed when we're doing, the Linux and all those setup, they say that the private IP is an IP that is not accessible from the internet, but it allows server to server communication. So we're going to assign this IP to this controller node. Then we're now going to provision. So in our provisioning, we'll install Ansible automatically. So this is config define node one. So this is the first node. We're going to define it. We're going to name it node one. Same Ubuntu Focus, Ubuntu 20. The host name will still be node one. And the private network, the IP address will be 192.168.56.11. Same thing for the second one. So this is we are doing two servers here. There's one controller node that is going to be have these two as target nodes. So let's run Vagrant up. I've run this Vagrant up before, but let us do it again. So yeah, it's going to provision the three different servers for us. The controller server, node one, and node two. So in this configuration, it's going to in this configuration, it's going to create a private key for you that you can use to SSH into the server. So the private key will be stored like I said, it will be stored privately. And when we are trying to configure it on the inventory.ini, you're going to see it. So now you can see here, it's showing you node 1. So node 1 is what it's provisioning. You can see it has finished provisioning controller. Has finished provisioning controller. And the next thing we're going to push provisioning node 1. After provisioning node 1, it's going to provision node 2. For those people that don't have Vagrant set up, you can use, like I said, you can use DigitalOcean, which is like a server, you can get servers from there and connect it. It gives you an IP address where you can now connect it and test the whole setup that we're going to do here.
Please, is our trainer still talking? Like, so I can't hear you, sir.
I'm here. We're
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
waiting
you.
for
Sorry.
them to provision. So now it has provisioned node. Now you see node 1, node and node 2. So if we check Vagrant status, you can see that to show you um to show you controller running, node 1 running, node 2 running. Yeah, so this environment represents multiple VMs, blah blah blah. I've shown you that 3 of them are running. Now let's go into control. Let's go into um now we're inside the controller. You can see it here. You can see it here. Um, Vagrant controller. First thing first, for us to run this setup, we have to disable what they call. First of all, let's check Ansible. Ansible, if Ansible is installed, we do Ansible version. So now you can see that's installed. It's giving you the version 2.9.6. And then show you that the config file is in /etc/ansible.cfg. You get the etc/ansible.cfg. So that's showing you where the config file is. So now we're in that config file. We have to go and ensure that host key checking is false. Because when you are trying to integrate new servers into the configuration, one thing Linux does by default is that it asks you, are you sure? It does that host key checking, meaning that it's trying to ask you if you're sure of the connection that you want to create to this server. You now put yes. But if you're running it in an automated environment like this, it will disturb that those settings will kind of disrupt the flow because there will be no wait for you to authenticate and check if for you to authenticate and check if the thing is running, if for you to approve it or not. So you have to go and disable host key checking first. So let's go there. We do cd/etc and we see ls, we say ansible.cfg. When we go inside ansible.cfg, now you see now the host key checking is false. Now there are a lot of things you can also do here. You can see defaults, inventory. So if you can decide to set your inventory inside these hosts and to pick it from here. But we're not going to do that. All this one will remain before, but this is the one that is important to us. We've already disabled it before it came with a comment. So you cannot change only read only file. Hold on. I need to sudo this because it's a read only file. Yeah, so before it came with this came with the comment, or when you remove it. So this host key checking is not going to check for the it's not going to check for if it's not going to ask you for that permission, or should I connect to this server, yes or no. It's not going to ask you. So when you run the Ansible playbook, it's just run through like that. So now that we have done that, what we'll now do is to create an inventory file. So inventory.inv. Now see, this is a typical example of an inventory file. First things first, we name the inventory file target. Now, target is like a name generally that we give to we want to name the group of settings that we want to group our configuration under. We name it target. And under that target, you will see first things first, you write the IP address on the server, which is a private IP, which is what we set when we're running when we're configuring Vagrant, what we set over there, the private IP, which is, this is for the controller, so it's not useful. This is the first one, node 1 and node 2. So we set them here. If you're running it with the DigitalOcean server, you can also set your IP address here as well. You can either be the public IP or the private IP, depending on the networking configuration that you have set up. But most times people prefer to use the private IP. Then Ansible user. So Ansible user is usually Vagrant in our Vagrant setup. The Ansible user, you get it from this. Oh. The Ansible user is usually gotten from this. See where the Ansible user is gotten from. This particular first part is where the user is. This is the user of the machine. If you're working in more industrial servers and you log in as your own user, it's usually your name that will be here. Let's say Peter at IP address kini or Ezekiel at IP address. So usually the name or the name of the user that is here. But since our own is name Vagrant, this is what is here at this point. Then this part is usually the name of the machine. So now if you go back, you see Ansible user Vagrant. The Ansible SSH private key file. Now this private key file was created by Vagrant when the thing when it spun up the machine. So I know I went to find it out and I went to paste it. So what this now does is that it goes to this particular place and then picks up this private key. If you're using like a more, this is, by the way, if you're using Vagrant, this is default. So if you want to practice with Vagrant, just copy this setup and put it, because this is where it always stores its private key. But if you're using like DigitalOcean and stuff, and you're using username and password, you do the same thing as well. You can just do Ansible, username, you put the username, then the password, you put the password. It's always best to put the password in a secret setup, but that one is got it later. But that's just what it is. You put the password. But ideally, it's always best to also use SSH keys instead, because you can always hide the keys. So like this one now, there's no security flaw here. You get. Then there's the Ansible SSH private key for the second part. So this is also the second node 2. The node 2 here, you have 192.168.56.12. Ansible user interface, Ansible private key file. So this is basically what you need to enter into the server. So for those that are copying, I will leave it for a while. Like I said, this is target. So target is like the name of this setup. So whenever you want to, whenever you reference target, you're going to reference this setup. You get. So if you're using if you're using, for example, now using AWS server, you set your SSH keys here. Then you can use your username here. You get username on AWS, usually Ubuntu or Amazon Linux, or depending on what you set it, and then do whatever you want to do. So yeah, I'll just exit this. So once I exit this, now then the next thing I'll need to do is to next thing I'm going to do here is to ping. So there's what they call a ping. So you do Ansible -I inventory. So you're going to find where the inventory is, and then target -m ping. So this -m ping is specifying that we should use the ping module. This ping now is a module. You should use the ping module. What the ping module does is checking Ansible's reachability into the server. If the server is reachable. So this ping now will show, once it shows red, if it shows red, it shows that Ansible is not reaching the server. If it shows green, means that Ansible is reaching the server. So let's do this. No host match. Targets. Okay. I think I must have adjusted something in that first one that I changed. Did I adjust anything here? Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Include this. Well, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please, I can't hear anything again. Is it only me?
It's everywhere.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Serious,
Yeah, computer. My other
hearing
computer.
anything.
Can people hear me? My other computer started hanging when I'm writing the code, so I tried to
Hear you
join.
now, but
Yes, we
I
can hear you. Can hear you, sir.
Yeah, my other computer started hanging, so I had to join my second computer. I'm trying to restart the other one. I don't know why. But just give me a moment. Alphonsus, can you hand over the host to me back? Because I left, the host automatically chose you. So just hand it over back so that I would.
How do I do that, sir? How do I do that, sir? By going to more, right?
Yeah, you can add as co-host or something, or just make me the host.
I don't know how to do this. If I go to more, what options reset to default? Sir, how do I do it, sir?
There should be something that you can use to set
The host tools. Host tool.
Yeah? Please,
Is it
let's
a
guys on
host?
call. Please mute your mic.
Host tool.
Please, if you're on call, mute your mic, please. Sorry, what were you saying?
Sir, I said, where can I see it? Where can I return the host? Is it through this host box? Sorry, host tools, or I should go to more, then what will I click on, sir?
When you go to more, what do you see?
So if I go to more, the first place I'm seeing pause or stop recording. I'm seeing
No.
caption, breakout room, seeing docs, note, whiteboard, live stream, or reset to do for drag to record to. Those are what I'm seeing.
Can you share your screen, please? So I'll set out.
Oh, okay, sir. Can you see my screen, sir?
I can see your screen, but I'm only seeing Zoom.
The options you are looking for are above the two bars now. This is more. I don't know if you are seeing my.
I can't see your more. I can't see the more where it's showing.
Just you can you see my cursor now?
I can see just Zoom, your Zoom on your browser, but I can't see all those things. Are you using Zoom desktop?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Click on the Zoom desktop or share your full screen. I'm only seeing your browser.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'm supposed to do, sir. Let me go back to share, sir. That is advanced, right? Advanced.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you the one with someone making call in
Second.
your background?
Sir, to be honest, so I'm the one, sir. I don't have light, so the place I came out to for the class. You see,
Hold on,
it's
I'm
not
trying to set
that kind.
stuff up above.
So if he can't change it, just tell him to end the call. Then you start the call all over now. I think that one is better.
It's the KodeCamp management that gave me the host privilege. You know what? Stop sharing your screen.
Okay, sir. So maybe I should log out and log in back. Maybe to give it back to you, sir.
Can you mute your mic, please?
Alphonsus, leave the Zoom call. Once you leave, it will return to him. So it is now on you. You are now the host.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm setting up back. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Hear you, sir. But we can't see your screen.
Yeah, please hold. Sorry for the break in transmission. Sorry for the break in transmission. So I'm setting up the Vargrant again. These things happen. Mm. Okay, nice. Provisioning host 2, controller and host 1, they are already done. Provisioning host 2 now. That's why I provisioned this thing before, so that it will not like waste time when I provision it in class. Because I do it all, I set it all everything up in the beginning. Okay, now it's done. So let's enter into the controller server. Now on the controller server. So let's do that our ping again. Let's do that our ping again. Usually stops. The command to ping to, I don't know why this one is not going up. The second one has confirmed, but the first one, right, that this is 11 has confirmed success. The second one, I don't know why. Let me check the inventory file again. Okay, okay, I think that should be very good. Okay, I think I figured out what the problem is. I'm basically put, yep, so that will come up. I basically put a colon in the path, in the file. That's why it's not big. Now you can see, this is how you will test the reachability of the server from your controller. So you can see ping that showing you IP address of the node 1 is spawn, which is success. Then the second one is spawn as well as success. So if you have multiple servers in this your inventory file, if you have multiple servers in this inventory file, this is how you. Now, for me, this now you can group. You can say if you want to deploy this thing to a dev environment, you can put the dev servers, you can put the staging servers, you can put the production servers. You can group them as much. You can have 10 different setups on one group or multiple as well. So I was using two, for practice sake. But remember, in class, we went as high as 30. Like I talked about, you can provision as much as 30 servers on the same setup. Now, this is true now. And from this setup, you can see that the two of them are reachable. Let's try it again. Okay, now you're reachable. So the next step you're going to do is to write a playbook. So let's write playbook. There's already a playbook. Yes. Okay, there's no playbook. Let's do playbook. This is a new file. Let me copy so now this is the sample playbook you can use to practice. So this is install Nginx on target nodes, which is install Nginx on target nodes. So now the name of this playbook is to install Nginx on target nodes. Then you host. The host is the target. So that target that we set in the inventory file. So what this host will do is to go and look for the inventory file, wherever you specify and there's an inventory file, look for a name called targets. And all other of the users under that target group will be what this playbook will work with. Then become tells the ask to listen to run all tasks using sudo. Like I told you in the last class, before you provision sudo, you write sudo manually and then put yes. But now with the new update on Ansible, you can just do become true, meaning that it's going to run all the tasks as super user privileges. You get using like sudo. So it runs sudo apt xyz, sudo apt this, sudo apt this stuff. Then this task now is to list all the tasks that it's going to do. Then the first task is to update cache. So when you log into the server, when you do sudo apt update, this is what it does here. Sudo apt update, this is what it's gonna do. It adds like a label to the task. Then apt update cache. Yes, it's like telling using the app module to update the package list. So this is similar to running sudo apt update on your server. Then this another task is to install Nginx, still using the apt module. Now you name Nginx, which is the name of the package. Then the state present is ensuring that, so this is not going to leave this start without ensuring that Nginx is installed. So that's why you put the state present. It's not just going to ensure, it's not going to install, it's also going to ensure that it is installed. That's what the state present is for. Then name, ensure Nginx is running. It's going to use the service. So when you do systemctl status, that's why we started from learning language before we started learning automation, because you cannot survive, you cannot just go and learn Ansible without knowing the underlying commands involved. So this is name, Nginx, started, state started, enabled, true. So yeah, enabled true simply means it auto starts on reboot. So whenever you reboot the server, if you stop the server and you start it again, it's going to reboot the server. That's what enabled means. So this is just a very simple one. We'll run a few more by the end of the class. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's try this. Now, if you want to run a playbook on a server, what you do is Ansible -playbook. Then .i specified inventory file, and then write the playbook name. So when you do this to start to play installing Nginx on target node, that name, the name that we put it as, you can see gathering fact, okay. it has this gathering fact is also this same ping command that we ran here. This is what gathering facts does. It runs and ensures that it is reachable. But we didn't have to wait till it gets to this point. That's why we ran the ping command first. You get? You didn't have to wait till it gets to this point. That's why we ran the ping command first. Now the next one is the next one is update cache. It's updating the cache. It's going to take a bit of time because you know when you run sudo apt update, it does not just start immediately. It takes a bit of time to go through all those process. The only good part of Ansible is that you don't see all those gibberish that it shows when you are running all those commands under. Just runs it behind the scenes and then gives you the result. That's the good part of Ansible. So it's going to take a while. It's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute. Then you can see changed. The yellow has appeared, changed. I'm going to explain to you where all these outputs, I'm going to explain to you after when it is done. Now doing that to do apt install in the next, that's why. It's doing this is what is running now. So imagine you manually writing all those CLI commands across, let's say, 10 different servers. It will not make sense. But you see now, I just did like a plug and play, basically. I just plugged 2 servers, and with my Ansible controller, I can deploy it to multiple servers at the same time. That's it. The control node can be your local machine, which is your computer, to external servers. You can also set one server as well to be as a control node to another server. Depends on your setup and your preference. So let's go. Please, can people still hear me? Let me know.
Yes, sir, we can hear you loud and clear, sir.
All right, no problem. So installing Nginx. Nginx is installing currently. It's going to take a bit of time because the installation processes are not. I can see now. You can see install change, ensure Nginx is running. Okay, now you see play recap. It has given you a summary of what it has done so far. You see the first server, which is this 1.11. Okay, 4, changed 2, unreachable 0, failed 0, skipped 0, rescued 0, ignored 0. Now, when you see this, when you see okay, it shows you the total number of tasks that ran successfully, which is these 2 and these 2. You get. Then you now see the total number of, but when you see okay, it means that this particular task ran successfully on this point. That's what okay means. When you see changed, change means it ran okay and also made changes to the system. You get, which is stuff like install, update, all those updating, all those remove, all those install, all those tasks that will make a change to the system. That's what you see change. when you now see unreachable, the same thing when you did that pawn, which is Ansible cannot connect to the host. But it's 0 here. It's 0 here. You get. Then you now see failed, the same thing. For tax, we will run, it will be able to connect, but it will not, the tax will fail. Skip, sometimes there are some conditions that you reach, it will not be able to perform those conditions, then it will skip. Then rescued is when a tax runs after a failure, probably a situation where the tax, there's a condition or something, that's when you see rescued. So from this summary now, you can see all the four tasks ran successfully, 2 of them made changes, and there were no SSH issues. So that's basically. Now let's go back. Let's check. Let's exit this controller server. Let's do Vagrant SSH node 1. Let's go into node 1. Now we're inside node 1. Let's do sudo system status. Just check if Nginx is running. You can see active. It's showing active, running. Since when? So it not be like as if, oh, he probably provisioned it, he probably set it up when we're not in the class. Look at since when, 4 minutes ago. You can see it, evidence day. Since 4 minutes ago that it was set up, all those waiting time that we're doing, it has set up. So it's 4 minutes ago. So it not be like I say, but what if he set it up when we're not in the class? Look at it here, 4 minutes ago. If you go back again and exit, and then say, let's SSH into node 2. Same thing we'll do, sudo system status nginx. Same thing for node 2. Same thing again, 5 minutes ago. So you can see now that this is the power of Ansible. We have deployed stuff into 2 different servers at the same time with 1 command to multiple servers. So people can see it. So now let's exit. Let's exit and then go back to the controller node. So yeah, let's remove Nginx now. Let's do VI label 2. Let's assume now that you are working in an environment where there's already Nginx, and then you'll be required to remove it. Okay, so from the first command, you see remove the same thing, remove Nginx from target nodes, host target become true. So now the first thing we will do here is to stop the Nginx service. We're going to stop the Nginx service, which is the service, the name stopped. The name will be stop Nginx, and then the service, the name is Nginx, the state is stopped. Then enable would be false, meaning that It's, everything should be shut down. Disabling it from start on boot, basically. Then ignore errors. True. Now, this ignore errors is a situation where if Nginx is not installed, don't fail the script, just keep on moving. So if a situation where you're working on server where 29 has Nginx but 30 does not have, the 30th one does not have. When you reach the 30th one and it does not see Nginx, the script should not shut down. The playbook rather should not shut down, it should keep on moving. It should just end, or just probably the one that does not have will be in the middle. You should just continue like that. Because sometimes you write an Ansible script, and when the thing does not fulfill what you're sending to do, the script to just go off, which is not. So this is what this ignore errors to do. Then you can see remove Nginx package, the name, then state. State is absent. This absent means that ensure that the package is uninstalled. That's what absent is. Then purge. Yes, purge means remove all the associated configuration files, because when you install a package, it comes with its own configuration files in /etc, and all those, in Windows you have what they call program files. When you install a package, all those things that are settled in your computer, you should remove everything as well. Then it's saying to remove all the configuration directory, which is this part, and then state absent, ensure that it's all installed. So when we come here, we can do the same thing. So we just repeat, let me clear this. Just repeat the same step. Playbook 2 to now to go removing Nginx from target hosts. That's the one gathering facts. Okay. So to go there now, stop Nginx. Now you can see it has not changed again. It has not changed again. Removing Nginx package. Good. They have not changed. Now the script has successfully executed. You get. So let's check. You're all checking. If you're working with a lot of servers, you won't have time to check like this. So it's just good to pray that your script works. So you write something that actually works. See, you can see inactive, dead. You can see it inactive, dead. It was stopped. Inactive, dead. The last time it was stopped. Look at it, 1858. This time is 1 hour ahead. So now it's 18, now it's 9, now it's 7:59. Things stopped at 6:59, which is, this is GMT time. We are in GMT +1. So it's just like 1 hour, 1 minute ago to stop, which is when we ran the script. Okay, let's go down to, let's exit to node 2. The same thing as well has stopped. How many? 1858, which is 2 minutes ago. So yup. So any questions so far? Does anybody have any question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, please, this Ansible, can you, like the installation, can you go through where I'm seeing this extension terminal? Can you go from there, just type it and do the installation from there? Or you need to run it the normal way we use in running it as a code?
I don't understand the
install.
question.
I say Ansible. This
Um,
Ansible.
yeah.
If you want to install it, do you need to go through this your extension where I'm seeing from file from where you are like where you are sharing your screen now? You will see file, see search. You see your repo branch. Then that extension where you have your extension there, is it from there you just uh, install your Ansible, or you need to run it normally the way we will type it through the code here by typing install Ansible to install the Ansible.
No, you can when you have your if you have your server, you can install Ansible. Hold on. If you have your server, you can install Ansible manually using this normal sudo apt install Ansible. But what we now did
Okay,
was that
sir.
we used the what they call it this one to install it. Um, we used the what they call this
Vagrant.
Vargrant to install
Vagrant.
it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Is there any other question? Let's just try one more script, one more playbook. Okay.
So please,
Let's
I
let
can't hear you.
can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Just hold on. Oh boy. Okay, let's do this. Wait, So now this particular playbook is more of, more for shell related stuff. So, you see the tags create opt DevOps folder. So it will go to this tags now, it will go to this place and then create a folder called /opt/DevOps folder. Then this is the shell. Now, if you just like what I did before, when you see shell is for, you can use shell, you can use command, but in this one we are using shell. Shell is more modern though. Command is a bit the older, what they call it, module, the older command rather. So that's for command is the older version. Yeah. Then create a text file inside opt DevOps. Same thing. So you run the shell command. So this shell command is used when you want to write an Ansible playbook that involves writing shell scripts. You get. Then you see echo hello from Ansible. So you echo this hello from Ansible and then pipe it to this message.txt inside that same DevOps folder. The next thing we will do to create a log file with current dates. Now this log file now is to know to you want to also pipe the date into a shell into a file as well. You run a shell command. You do a shell command to do this. Then, so we're now doing create a nested folder and a file inside it. So inside this place, now this particular pipe you are seeing here, this pipe sign you're seeing here, if you want to write multiple shell commands, you get. So you may be in a situation where you need to write inside this Ansible file, you can write like 10 lines of shell scripts. Same way you wrote in when we're doing shell programming. So that's when you now put this pipe command here. Then write all the things you need to write. You don't need to specify shebang like we explained. You don't need to specify shebang because you have practically this is already picking it here, so you don't need to specify shebang. But there's a shebang here inside the script. So you now do echo welcome to DevOps. Pipe it inside start. So this, it will pipe this shebang inside the script, do the echo again, welcome to DevOps, and run the script. So this is ch plus X to add the executable inside it. So let's just try this out. Let's do this. It may fail, it may not fail. I don't know. Let's see. Gathering facts. Still the same Ansible. Create up DevOps folder. Bam, bam. You see this one? This one did a lot of consider using the file module. Kini. So this one is giving you suggestion to use the file module state directory rather than running mkdir. Yep, so it has run everything. The reason why this was faster is because you didn't need to do all those installations. We didn't need to do all those installations because that's why it was faster. It was not installing anything basically. It was just like the typical mkdir touch and all those stuff. So now let's go back. Let's go to node 1. Vargrant. Let's go to cd/opt. Check inside here, you see a DevOps folder. If you see the inside, you see scripts folder. You see the message. So this message now is what we created that time. Hello from Ansible. You see the setup.log. It's what we created that time as well. The time and date of this particular command. Then if you see the inside scripts, you see the script that we just ran, but we just created. It's already an executable. That's why it's showing green. So you can see it's, if you run the script now to tell you what, welcome to DevOps. So yeah, you can see everything is automated. So when we exit this, we go to node 2 again, the exact same setup. The exact same setup. So what we'll do is cd into/opt again. Same way ls DevOps. I can see that the commands run the same thing on multiple servers. Same thing, message.log. If we cut this, you see, work hello from Ansible. You do the same cut for setup.log. You see this is the date and time. We now cd again into scripts. Oh, then see it again, ls start the message. If you run this script, welcome to DevOps. So you can see that's the good part of Ansible. That's why Ansible is Ansible, because you can automate the same setup across multiple servers, just as I explained. I think I'm going to stop here though, because I've already passed my point across. Does anybody have any question?
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening,
All right, so for this Ansible, are we installing any maybe package outside our, let's say, VS Code, or the installation is being done on this VS Code, like you are just running the command?
I'm not using VS Code though. People know I'm using VS Code is just to manage the code here, but you are going to, like now, if you're using Vagrant, you will log into, you would write a Vagrant file. Now the Vagrant file now will have 3 different, if you're using Vagrant too, it will have 3 different what they call it. It will have 3 different setups. The first one will be for controller. I think I'll need to push this code. I'll have to push this code and put it on the group. I'll push this code and put on the group. So you see, you have this controller node, then to have this managed node with an IP address, and then another managed, you can add more managed node to simulate multiple servers. You understand? If you want to, like, you can do as much as node 5 step. So I know to give you that feeling of having multiple servers. You get. Then you log into the controller. The controller is the one that has the Ansible installed, which is what we installed here. We use the very install Ansible. Has the Ansible installed. You get. Then when you have the Ansible installed in the controller, you connect the other node servers that you have to the Ansible controller. And then from that Ansible controller now, he'll be distributing the playbooks to all other servers. Do you understand? For those that are not using Vagrant, if you have a virtual, if you have like your WSL or something, you can install Ansible in that your WSL. Then you can now go to DigitalOcean. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be free. Rather, you can just say like $3 or $5. You can get a 1 gig server. You can get like 2 or something. Then connect them to your host, which is on you want on your laptop. And then simulates deploying like provisioning packages with Ansible on the DigitalOcean server. But ensure that when you're done, delete it. So that it's not, incur money, because these things per hour. So yeah, I'm using Vargrant because I didn't want to spend any money. You can also use AWS if you can. The person that has it can AWS be used. You can use EC2. The reason why I don't want to use EC2 because most people may not be familiar with it. But if you are familiar with AWS, fine. You can use EC2 as well. You can use Azure, you can use any of them, GCP.
About AWS, we need to pay for AWS.
Yes, now that's
Yeah,
why I say I
AWS.
didn't want to use AWS because I didn't want a situation where you now start trying to trying to do some complex stuff. We'll go into AWS later into the course where we'll talk about it. But I'm trying to be as simplistic as I can in this particular section. You understand? That's why I
So,
talked
sir,
about
so
using.
when you have this Vagrant file at the top of your screen, is it that you wrote the code already?
No, the Vagrant file, I generated this code now. I generated the code to provision the Vagrant servers, the Vagrant server. Just create a file on your computer, write it
Okay.
Vagrant file. Then you write this code inside. You can add more code if you want. You can add more for node 3, add another one for node 4. But ensure that you're changing the IP address. Probably for node 3 now, this end will be 13. For node 4, this end will be 14. For node 5, this end will be 15, like that, like that. You can do it as more, you can do it up to 10 different servers, and then connect them to your controller. Same way using the inventory.ini. Then once you run your ping and ensure that everything is connected. Then provision as much things that you need to provision at the same time. So you can see that it has a one-to-many relationship. Unlike imagine all the setup you want to do now, all this make folder this, make folder that. We'll not start having to jump from server to server to do all those ones. It won't make sense. I can't tell you that
Okay.
now, because you just need to what AWS does. I'm not teaching AWS till when we go to AWS part. But if you want to use it, there's a free tier on EC2 on AWS. You can run it. I'm not like going to like come and start breaking down how to do it on AWS. You can get an EC2 on AWS and you connect it to a private IP, do the same thing, get your SSH key. AWS already has SSH key. You connect it, you put your SSH key on your controller, your Ansible controller, and then write it on your inventory file. And then you ping. If your thing goes through, then you deploy whatever you want to deploy. The same thing. I'm not like going to practicalize and start showing you how to run to AWS because that's not the purpose of the class. So yeah, is there any question? Is there any other question? Let me stop sharing.